Anyway, okay, so, as you may have guessed, I'm a scientist, but that's not the point of today's talk. No. And you guys, well, you guys have already been tenderized by all this dread and doom and gloom about AI. Yes, because that's what I'm going to be talking about. But not immediately. First and foremost, yes, I'm a scientist. I'm also a Scotsman, as you can tell from this outlandish accent of mine. And basically, I'm incredibly stingy, just like my Scottish forefathers. I mean, so the story goes, wire was invented in Scotland by two Scotsmen fighting over a penny. Anyway, that is fictional, as is some of this talk. Anyway, point is, if there's a weird way of saving money using a little bit of my brain power, because I'm a scientist, I will find it. So yes, before Google Earth was handing out pictures of your house for free and Google Street View, then there was like whatever the precursor was. I don't even remember its name. It was like the MySpace of Google Earth. Point was that if you put in your address, it would go, boop, here's an image of your house. Oh, with watermarks. If you want the watermarkless version for a small fee, you can have it. I wasn't having that, because I realized, hey, there's a little gap between the watermarks where there's no watermarks. And so what did I do? I changed my address in little spaces until I had lots and lots of images with the little watermarkless space. And so eventually I could see my whole lab from space for free by photoshopping all of these watermarkless bits together. Yeah, that is the lengths I'm willing to go to save a bit of money. That kind of sets the scene of, yes, me and my money, we like to be together. I don't like to separate myself from my money. Yes, Scotsmen are physically welded onto their wallets. And, you know, and I keep circling back to this. Yes, if you divert a little bit of brain power, you can save money or at least avoid spending the stuff. And yes, you know, you have all this. I mean, some of you may have seen the iconic video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, but of course it wasn't Will Smith. It was AI. And yes, it was pretty, I saw it. It's pretty much nightmare fuel. It's like a thing that looks like Will Smith if you squint your eyes and have a head injury. But anyway, point is, AI is coming along in leaps and bounds. And of course, the Musky one and loads of others are trying to find a way of making money from it. Boo! Yes, we're already trashing on Elon, you know, the guy who the pedophiles don't want to play with. Yes, seriously, he deserves everything he gets and more. But circling back, because he has this wonderful AI engine called Grok, which I won't even go into the origin of the name. Point is that yes, if you don't pay anything, then you can get a 6-second video of pretty much whatever pops into your little deranged imagination. And trust me, I've got plenty. So, and of course, you only get an allowance of X amount per day. But that's per human. What if you, oh, I don't know, had multiple email addresses? Then you could get multiple times the allowance. And, ooh, you know, I can neither confirm nor deny that I may have been doing that a lot. Because it amuses me. And of course, the price tag, 0. And, you know, it's basically, you know, it's a bad influence on me because, yes, maybe I shouldn't have access to this Pandora's box of insanity. And, of course, you know, they actually, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but Elon is trying to be reputable because he doesn't want people generating saucy stuff. I mean, because you know that, you know, as soon as a teenage boy gets hold of this, and I'm not a teenage boy anymore, believe it or not, I haven't been for some time, but any teenage boy worth his salt will clearly go to a big booty Puerto Rican goddess and be absolutely gutted when he goes, this has been moderated, which is kind of like playing Operation, but with porn. Except it's like, moderated, shit. And it's like, okay, but what can I get? Because yes, if you're dumb enough to say, I want a topless woman, no. But if instead you're to say, can you show me a woman who is wearing cowboy boots and wearing a pair of shorts, and that's all? Amazingly, that goes through. That's fine. But if you say, show me a topless woman, no. So, okay, all right. So, you know, I'm starting to, like the velociraptors checking which things electrified, you know, checking, okay, so what you can and cannot ask for. I mean, if you want 3 girls wearing cowboy boots and shorts, twerking at a bus stop, fine. But if any of those girls happen to, touch each other, sorry, no, okay. So, it's, slowly but surely charting the vulnerabilities of the system. And then, of course, this, opens up all kinds of crazy possibilities. And so I was struck by the thought, okay, so, where can we go with this? And I was thinking, when I was planning this routine, how am I going to talk about this? Because I can't just keep on saying topless, that's not very classy. And so I wanted to say, so yes, of course, some of these videos may feature women who are absent-minded dressing. And I thought, okay. But then suddenly a little light bulb went on in my head and I thought, that almost sounds like a condition. And then suddenly, dressing amnesia. And then, of course, my brain went down a rabbit hole. Yes, you can't ask to see a woman's rabbit hole. But anyway, point is, I suddenly thought, okay, if this is a real condition, then surely a woman would go to a therapist's office. So yes, you can ask for a woman wearing blue jeans and cowboy boots, laying on a therapist's couch, and that's all she's wearing, talking to a therapist about her experiences in the world as an absent-minded dressing sufferer. And then this went even further. Okay, I thought that stand was closer. Point was, I then thought, okay, surely, because once again, I'm banging up against this limit of 6 seconds. I mean, yes, as a man, there's a lot you can do in 6 seconds, but that's not the topic of this conversation. Point is, so what can we do with 6-second video clips? Because, there's a very finite amount of dialogue you can fit in there. But then I also thought, what if you can, if you pasted those together, 10 of those makes a whole minute. But how can you have all these 6-second clips? But I thought, okay, like in a documentary, you have the announcer, then you have a clip. Announcer, then a clip. And so what did I do? Because Grok has an image animation feature, I took an image of the host of the Twilight Zone with the spiral behind him, good old Ron Sterling, and I could make him say whatever I want. It's like, in the footage you're about to see, this is a woman suffering from dressing amnesia. Cuts to a scene. Yes, I got promoted 3 times this week. You are topless though. Oh, damn! Cuts back to Ron Sterling. Yes, we have been inundated with applications to be a male psychiatrist to treat this condition. Yes, and a man asked me if I was from Pittsburgh, and then I realized I was topless again. Cuts back to Ron Sterling. And this whole thing sort of started building itself. So yes, I do realize I'm going to have to learn video editing if I actually want to make my dream a reality, to create the Twilight Zone episode that time forgot, as well as maybe generate the women's footage in black and white. I wasn't really thinking ahead with that one. Point is, yes, then we can have the Twilight Zone episode that I know that everyone wants to see. But then I realized, YouTube isn't going to let me post that, are they? Seriously, I mean, am I going to have to get a Pornhub account? That would be weird. As a producer, anyway. Yeah, but this is kind of, like I said, going off down a rabbit hole. I mean, and the weird thing was, I didn't even set out to do this. I blame my friend who I was telling about my ideas, and then the whole dressing amnesia thing came from there. It was actually because I had an idea. What if in the future, just like we have iPads and we have all these wonderful technology, but in 20 years, are we going to look back and laugh at the technology we have right now? And I had the idea, what if everyone had a super intelligent desk hamster instead of an iPad? Yeah, the most random thing I could possibly think of out of my deranged imagination. So I already had the idea of the Hollywood movie, albeit 60 seconds long, The Adventures of Telekinetic Desk Hamsters. The big business thinks they're going to be making money from telekinetic desk hamsters. And then the scientists going, no, they're synchronizing, as the hamsters float above the metropolis. Yeah, I know. I keep saying, and my friend keeps saying I should be banned from Grok. It's like, yeah. Which one of me? They're going to have to ban me and Spanky Wonderdog 8 and all the other names that I may or may not have. Anyway, I think that's quite enough for now. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you.
Andrew Fairbank, everybody! Such a good job. We've arrived at the last comedian.